I have found out that my wife is cheating. Who do I confront her when she is intimidating? It takes a lot to admit this, but I am scared of my wife. She is someone who might be lovely, but if things do not go her way, will raise hell on someone. Her family always backs her up on everything. So when I try to raise a point with her, or if I do something that she does not agree with, her first instinct is to make me feel guilty. If that does not work, then she gets her family involved. Despite all this, I love her. She is a stay-at-home wife. She makes sure that I come home to a clean house every day. She takes care of me and supports me in everything that I do. I have figured over the years that she has a short temper. There are habits that I have picked up in order to deal with her when she has a short temper. I usually just go for a walk or smoke. I am trying to quit, but how many times I smoke depends on how many times she loses her temper. These days, I have cut down to less than 5 times a day. I used to go through a whole pack a day. But now that I have found out what she has done, I do not think that even a cigarette will fix this. I should have believed my learners when they told me that they saw her with a man at one of the bars. I am a teacher, and my students are high schoolers. When they told me that, I told them that they were mistaken. I also told them that they were not supposed to be hanging around that area at their age. I gave them a warning and told them that next time I would involve their parents. My wife is not a person who frequents a bar or is out at odd hours of the night. Occasionally, she meets a friend for dinner, but she is always home before 10. She likes her own space, preferring to spend her time doing art. She sells her artwork sometimes. With my job and her side income, we lead a very simple and happy life. She is very content with her life, which is why I found it hard to believe that she was sneaking out. The only explanation I could think of was that it was her younger sister Gloria, who is 21. They look exactly alike and are often mistaken for each other. But then, a couple of nights ago, as I was sleeping, I reached right beside me and found that she was not there. I am a person who sleeps like a rock, so waking up in the middle of the night is unheard of for me. When I found that the right side of the bed was cold, I woke up and checked the time. It was a little past 2 in the morning. I checked our bathroom, but she was not there. I went and checked downstairs, and she was still not there. I called out for her and checked the backyard, but she was gone. Then I went to the garage and found that her car was gone. I thought that maybe she got hungry and decided to go buy something at the store, but I knew that I was grasping at straws. There was food in the house. That was when what had been nagging me finally made sense. I struggled to remember the name of the bar, but I finally did. I got into my car, put the location on the GPS, and headed there. When I entered the bar, I looked around, but I did not find her. So, I was wrong. She was not here. I was so relieved, and I decided to go back home. As I was starting my car, I spotted her car across the street, in the parking lot of the motel. It was not really a motel, to be honest. That establishment has a bad reputation in our town. They call it the place where people got up to no good. Seeing that was enough for me to realize that she was clearly seeing someone. Before she could come out and discover me there, I left. But that was not before I took some pictures of her car parked there. As I drove home, many thoughts crossed my mind. There was no way that she was cheating on me. She loved me. She was possessive of me, and would even get angry at any woman who smiled at me. So why was she here with another man? It did not make sense. When I went back home, I did not sleep. An hour later, I heard her pull into the driveway. A couple of minutes later, she entered our room and headed for the bathroom. I heard her freshening up, and then she came to lie beside me. She called my name, but I acted like I was dead asleep. The next morning, I woke up and acted like nothing was happening. For the next few days, I followed her when she left, and I found out more about what was going on. Every night at 1:30 a.m., she would get up and get dressed. I set an alarm for myself for a couple of minutes after that. I then got a cab so that she would not recognize my car. She met this man at the bar, and then they would go to the motel. He was a young man, rather fit too. I will admit it, and say that I felt threatened by his looks. He looked to be in his early 20s. I would lurk in another bar by the street and see how long they would stay there. I always made sure I left before she did. The one time that I left at the same time that she did, she came home to find that I was not there. I lied and said I had walked to the store to get myself something. I have so much proof against her, and tonight I want to follow her again. It is both so disgusting to me and scary. How long has she been doing this? What drove her into the arms of another? I have so many questions, but I know how the conversation is going to play out. She is going to be mad at me for following her. She is also going to lie to me and tell me a story about who that person is. She will call her family, play the victim, and I will be forced to forgive her. I cannot let her get away with it this time, though. She has broken my trust, made a mockery of our marriage, and has made me hate her. I keep it in. I smile at her and still kiss her good morning. But every time I do, I wonder where those lips have been. I get sick at the thought of it. I think about it every second of the day, and I want to cry. I want to scream. But I am numb most of the time. I do not know what to do. I do not really know what will happen if we separate. I do not really know life before her. Before she came into my life, it was all black and white. I just went through the motions. I lived in a small bachelor flat, had a frugal life, and saved a lot of money. Since she was coming from money, she insisted that we should sign a prenup. I never told her about my money because I wanted to do something with it once I retired from teaching. Something told me that if I told her about it, she would force me to use it. I have my own money, the house is being rented in my name, and I bought every single thing in that house. Maybe I should kick her out and divorce her. Yes, I should stand strong against her family, even though they may try to bully me, for she has broken my trust by being with another. She should have told me if there were problems in our marriage instead of doing this. I have never met a crueler woman in my life than Analise. I do not know what to do. I do not want her to get away with this. Update 1. I am leaving. I decided that going through the long route of divorce was going to be too good for her. I did not want to give her a chance to try and save this. She has manipulated and used me for far too long. It is a pity what it took for me to realize that my wife does not love me. Do you know what was the last straw for me? It was when I looked through her phone and found things I wish I could erase from my mind. I read conversations between her and her best friend where they discussed her lover and trash-talked me. Her best friend told her to leave me because I was a loser. She told her that it was better for her to marry the other guy, who is an engineer. Analise replied that then at least her family would stop shaming her for marrying a broke man. It is no shame that she is materialistic. This is something that I only found out when it was too late. She knew that I was a frugal man when she met me, and she acted like she was okay with it. Now that I think about it, she acted like it was okay because I come from a very successful family. However, my family's success is not my success. Therefore, their money is not my money. Either way, I read so many conversations between them where they laughed at me and praised her lover. It appeared that this had been going on for close to 6 months. She bragged about how she could sneak out and never get caught because I would be sleeping. She said that I was clueless, and she loved the thrill of sneaking out. She bet that she could keep it up for years if she wanted. The woman who was writing the texts came off as being very sadistic and cruel. I wondered what I had done to her that made her hate me like that. I made sure that there was always food in the house. I bought her art supplies, and I made deliveries for her on the weekend. I cancelled plans with my friends all the time because she wanted to watch some trash reality TV with me. I guess I have been too good for her. That is why, the very week that I found out that she was cheating on me, I started to apply for teaching posts in other towns. I got an offer soon after, but it was out of the country. Without her knowledge, I started the visa application process. Since I have a lot of savings, I was able to complete the process and leave the country as soon as possible. I left her with nothing. The house is paid for the next 2 months. After that, she will have to move out or pay for it. I took all the money that was in our accounts because it was all mine. I did not leave anything. I cleaned out all the accounts. At home, I took all the valuable things with me and sold the rest. I managed to get away with sneaking away by providing a distraction. I lied to her and provided her with a weekend getaway for her and her sister. She was so happy, not even suspecting that she was going to be screwed over. Since I linked her phone to my laptop, I was able to see the texts between her and her guy, whose name is Luis. The devil must be taking notes because this woman has no shame. She did not invite her sister like I told her to. Instead, she decided to invite her boy toy to the weekend getaway that I was paying for. That made me feel less guilty about leaving her. She deserved it. In fact, she deserved worse than what I did to her. If I wanted to, I could have publicly exposed her. I have all the screenshots, all the pictures, etc. Her family would be so embarrassed since they care about their image so much. It would also be my revenge for the way that they have treated me over the 4 years that we have been married. What I am glad about is that we do not have kids. I wanted kids, and I told her when we were still dating. But then when we got married, she told me that because of her age, she is 34, it would be difficult for her to carry to full term. She even showed me reports that showed that she was at risk if she had kids. I was fine with it, and even suggested adoption to her. We were supposed to be looking into adoption at the end of the year, but I guess that plan is now cancelled. I am so glad that we do not have kids together. I could tell you that if we had kids, it would have been impossible for me to leave. But now that I am in a different country, I can just cut her off with no consequences. One day I am here, one day I am not. I guess I am just a ghost. Now this is the perfect revenge. I know her. She gets very scared of being ignored, and she is going to go insane when she finds out that I have left her. The great part is that I did not leave any notes or evidence of where I was going. It is like I was never there. Update 2. Just wanted to check in with all of you. Thank you for your support. I believe that I did the right thing. If I had confronted her or gone through the route of divorce, it would have been a war. I know that woman, and she is not mentally stable. She would do anything to make sure that she came out of any mess on top. Leaving her with nothing is the best way forward. Now she will have to rebuild her life without me. She will have to face her family and explain to them without me. I have no doubt that she will lie about what really happened. I do not care what she says because I was not there. It is her problem and hers alone. I have been settling in well at my new school and my new house. In my free time, I spend my time exploring the city. That is something that I did not do when I was staying with Analise. I meet new people every day. The locals here are so friendly as well. I feel very much at home and happy for the first time in a while. I thought that being with her would make me happy, but it didn't. She was just safe, a constant, so that I did not have to be alone with my own thoughts. I have been alone with my thoughts for the past couple of months, and it is not so bad. I have discovered a whole lot more about myself than I ever knew. I have learned to laugh and to smile. I have cut back on cigarettes, and my headaches have decreased. I feel like I am in my 20s again. Is it possible to feel such happiness that you want to fly? For now, I plan to settle in as I think about what my next steps are. So far, this country is good, but I do not know much about it. I need to find out what sort of business I can start here. I think I am finally ready to do it. I retire in 30 or fewer years. Guess I better start now. At least if it fails, I still have the strength and brain power to try something new. Once I have settled down, I will do my research so that I can work on building my legacy. Update 3. I am surprised that it took her this long to find me, but she has. I found her waiting for me outside my apartment when I came back from work, and I was not surprised. She looked very stoic. It is very strange for her because she is usually either happy or upset. I knew that someone was looking into me. I guess one should call it a gut feeling. I have been here nearly a year, and she has not made contact. It took her too long. I knew that she was supposed to have found me within the next 6 months, but I guess her pregnancy is what was slowing her down. She looked to be at least 8 months pregnant. She was standing outside my apartment, and she looked tired. I greeted her and let her in. I gave her water and then something to eat. Neither of us said anything much. We were polite with each other. The first thing that she said to me was that I had gained a lot of muscle, and I had a nice tan. I thanked her, and I told her that pregnancy was treating her well, but I think we both knew that it was a lie. She looked exhausted and had aged years. Her hair and nails were not done for once in her life. Something really different and dark was going on with her. Whether I wanted it or not, she was going to make sure that I was involved. So I sat down and told her to start speaking. She told me that I had wrecked her by leaving. She had no explanation. She felt so blindsided. She had to lie to people about where I was. She tried to go to my workplace and find out where I got transferred to. Even though she was my wife, there was no way that she could get the information. Had it not been for the clothes that had been missing in the house, then she would have thought that I had gotten kidnapped. She told me that she got kicked out of the house and had to move back in with her parents. Her family did not support her. They pressured her to contribute to the family financially when she had no means of making money. I laughed when she said that. I said that I bet she missed that broken teacher then. Her jaw is unhinged and shame falls over her. I told her not to be ashamed. Surely she would have figured this one out by herself, but I guess someone had to spell it out for her. I knew about her affair. I knew for weeks before I left. She told me that I did not understand what was going on. She said that she had been under a lot of emotional stress. According to Analise, Louise was offering her emotional support because she was depressed. She felt that by staying at home and being my wife, her own life was passing her by. There she was, trying to turn the narrative in her favor. I never told her to stop working. She is the one who told me that her gallery was increasing her hours but not offering more money. She complained about the long hours, and then she quit. She tried to look for other jobs, but could not find one. Through all of that, I supported her. I paid for every course that she wanted to try. I did everything I could for her to fulfill her dreams. Then she got the dream offer, which she rejected. She cited that her mental health would not be able to handle the extra tasks she would have to complete. Do you know how mad I was when she told me that she would not take the job because of her own laziness? She was the one who did not want to work because she wanted me to provide for her. I did everything I could to keep up with the bills so that she would not want anything. Yet here she was, telling me crap about her feeling bored. If she felt bored, then no one would stop her from trying something that she would enjoy. I told her to stop. I had all the proof that she and Louise had been seeing each other for 6 months. I asked her why she had tracked me down. I was more than willing to sign the divorce papers. She told me that her family kicked her out and told her not to come back till she had a father for her son. I asked her if she really thought that it was my kid. She told me that it was negative for Louise, so it had to be me. Can you imagine this? Right when I am moving on with my life, she does this. Update 4. I was not going to take crap from her. I knew that she felt that I had something big going on in my life, and she just wanted money from me. So, I did that. I told her that I would give her a lump sum, and she would leave me alone. She could raise the baby the way that she wanted, whether it was mine or not. However, I was not going to be part of this. But she kept on arguing. She told me that she wanted the kid to have time with me as the dad. I told her to send him/her to me when they started asking questions. I told her that we were done after she cheated on me. There was no more love between us. She told me that it was tough luck because she was starting a position as an art teacher where I worked. I could not even comprehend what she was saying. She was close to giving birth and had only been in the country for a couple of days. She laughed and told me that she knew how I got this job. This country was desperate for teachers from our country, especially in private schools. Our school was one of the short-staffed ones, so they would do anything for their teachers. I guess art is a very important subject at this school for them to be desperate enough to host a psycho. I am already looking for a job somewhere else. Let us see if she can follow me this time. And to think that I wanted to settle down here. But thanks to her, everything is ruined. You gotta love ex-wives. I do not know. We have not even filed for divorce, and it might be difficult to do it over here. Not only that, but she also lives close to where I live. These days, I go to work, come back home, and lock myself in. I do not want to see her and talk to her. I have tried and failed to get her to just take the money and leave me alone. I know it may seem heartless that I am turning away from my child, but the truth is that I do not have a heart anymore. Nothing hurts, everything has been numb ever since she returned. You gotta love psycho people. Update 5. Guess who has just been arrested in front of the whole school for stealing a baby? If it is not the one and only Analise. It seems that before she fled the country, she had already signed the adoption papers for her and Louise's baby. She had gone to her sister and told her that she had messed up. So she asked her sister to help her keep the secret from their parents, and then she would give them the baby. She also asked that they pay her $50,000. After she gave birth, she planned to leave and never come back. Her parents had no idea that she was pregnant. According to them, she and I had both relocated. It appeared that when she told her lover that she was pregnant with his child, he demanded a test. When the results came back positive, he ran away. She concocted a plan to protect her integrity by using her sister, who was desperate for a baby. So for the past year, she has been living with her, and she was supposed to hand the baby over to her. But then, she ran away when she was very close to giving birth. Legally, she signed away all rights to that baby. It belongs to her sister Anna and her husband. So, it is a case of kidnapping. Anna managed to track her down after I sent her a message and told her to come and fetch her sister. I guess Analise did not count on me and her sister talking. Her sister is one of the more unpleasant members of the family to talk to. She is also the only person that Analise is scared of, so when I contacted her, I hoped she would come and fetch her by hook or crook. But looking at Analise now, she is about to give birth anytime soon. I hope that her case is resolved before she gives birth. Well, it does not matter, because as soon as she gives birth, the baby is going to go to the parents, and she might face time in jail. She had the nerve though. Why would she take someone's money and hide? See, no one believed me when I told them that she was a liar. They took her side all the time, and taught her that it was okay to lie to get what you want. Now look, she was publicly humiliated. Oh, and it gets worse for her, because her sister told me that at home, everyone knows what she did. Her so-called best friend blew the whistle on her when she went missing. Now everyone knows that her husband left her because of cheating. She just told them that I got an irresistible trip overseas and that she had gone with me for a couple of months. She is so lucky that she does not have to face that embarrassment right now because she is in another country, but she will be back to face the music. Update 6. Whether I wanted to or not. I had to get involved in her case since I was legally her husband. The court case went on back in my home country. I could only travel down when they requested me to give my witness statement. It was also the perfect time to file for divorce and make it quick. The fact that she had deceived me by getting pregnant with another person's baby made it so much easier. I was able to start the process while I was still in town, and then finish everything while I was away. Since we had a prenup, there was no need for our assets to be split. She kept what was hers, and I did what was mine. That was such a relief for me because there was this cute lady who owned a coffee shop who I wanted to ask out for ages, but since I was married, I could not. After that, I testified against my ex-wife. However, a few days before her sentencing, she went into labor. The baby was born and immediately released into Anna and her husband's custody, since the law had decided that they were the rightful parents. She, on the other hand, suffered a lot of blood loss as she was giving birth. What she told me when we got married was not a lie. She was high risk indeed. She had to stay in hospital for a couple of days, but the court case continued. A psychiatrist said that she was not in the right mindset to continue, but Anna and her husband had it out for her. Her whole family was not on her side for once. They wanted her to pay, even though she was in a fragile state. They should have listened to the psychiatrist. The shock from all that had happened, coupled with the near-death experience, ultimately led to her having a mental breakdown in court. This led to long-term brain damage. I only know what I know from what her sister told me, but she says that her mind is broken. Nothing that she says makes sense. She is not even aware of her surroundings. She is delusional and seems to think that the two of us are still married, and we never separated. She knows that she has a baby, and she wants her baby. But where she is, her baby girl cannot follow her. It looks like she is going to stay there for a while until she gets better. I hope that she does because I do not feel sorry for her. Am I responsible like her parents say? No, I am not. She let herself into a deep hole and now she is lost. There is no light at the end of the tunnel for her for a while yet. She got her karma, but I hope that Luis gets his own soon,